Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of the Uncommon Man podcast. Today we are finishing up the National Signing Day 7 through 10 with our special guest Mason. What's going on, brother?
What's going on, guys? How y'all doing today?
Hey, buddy.
Same old, same old.
Stoked to have you back, man.
Excited to be back, guys. Ready to get this list going.
Sweet, dude.
Right.
Well, you crushed it last week. Sorry, guys, we had a little bit of delay in that. Without further ado, though, Mason, can't wait to hear what you got, as well as your follow-ups past 10. I know that you've got a couple on the big end that, are going to be one of those that you just throw in there like, hey, almost made it kind of deal.
Yeah, I'll have a throw in there in a little bit, so we'll probably end up with 11 or 12 because there's two guys on here that I didn't put on that I'm a really big fan of. But we'll go ahead and start off now. We're going to start off now. Very cool with that.
I would love to do that, man. So we'll go ahead. Give me 1 second here. Bam. Okay, so we left out number 6. Let's roll on to your number 7, sir.
All right, guys. So number 7 who we have here is out of Katy, Texas. His name is Bryce Foster. He should be around. He actually just signed to A&M last Friday.
Awesome.
My seniors got beat out. It sucks, I know. 72. He's ranked 72 in the nation. He plays offensive guard. So the thing about him that I like the most, honestly, is really he's 6'4" and a half, 6'4" or 6'5". I want to go with 6'4" on this. He has a 4.6 40, which for an offensive guard is actually pretty good speed.
That's insane.
Yeah. But here's the best part: he weighs 318. He's 318 and runs a 5'6".
So he's super athletic.
Oh, dude, he actually has so basically he plays football, but wherever he goes to school, he's talking about he wants to do track too. He's actually an amazing shot put thrower, apparently, elite one too, like really good, like win state, everything. So he has that, yeah, he's good.
Well, I mean, we just raised him right here in Katy, so for what it's worth.
Yeah, right. So Katy's a big pipeline through Texas in general. So I mean, it doesn't surprise me at all that they got an athletic kid like this. But
we got a lot of money over here. It's a lot of money.
You guys are
Hey, so my question,
Texas.
Hey. So my question for this kid here, with him being 6'4" and a half, 318, 4.6 40, did he play basketball at any point? I mean, because he seems like he's pretty nimble.
So the thing about him is when I was doing my research on him, I didn't see anything about basketball in high school. He could have played back in middle school, maybe in Pee Wee basketball, something like that. But for the most part, all I know is he's really into track, shot put, and really into football. I know that. So here's the fun fact about him real quick. So coming down to his recruitment, he was down at OU and Texas A&M. And me being personally, there are some crystal balls. And for you guys who are watching this that don't know what crystal balls mean, so basically what a crystal ball is whenever an expert or someone on 247 that works for 247 Sports, they're experts. So there's guys that work for 247 that actually go to these combines and know inside sources with the families and at the programs that they're getting recruited by, that are top programs.
Nice.
And these guys, what they'll do is they'll talk to them, get as much information as they can, try and put all the dots together, and they'll come up with a crystal ball. And what that means is basically they're putting on what team they think what team he'll go to, what university he'll end up playing for, they think. And then by a national signing day or whatever they choose to commit, that they'll put that crystal ball in. So, like, for example, here, with Bryce Foster. For a little bit there, he was crystal ball to OU. And me personally, hearing the stories I've heard, I never thought he was going to OU. I thought at the end of the day, he was going to go to A&M because his mom and dad apparently went to A&M, and his big brother played at A&M. So he is from a College Station family. Actually, he was going to College Station watching his brother play. So me and all the experts, some experts saying, oh, he's going to OU. He loves what Bill Beambo is doing right now at OU with the O-line with Orlando Brown coming out of there and all that, Drew Samia. He loves it. I'm like, dude, there's no way he's going to go to OU when he's comes from an A&M family. So that's what really kind of grabbed me, is that he comes from a very athletic family. So it explains how he's really good at shot put, and he's a very athletic kid. He runs a 5'6". So actually, I might be wrong. It might be a 5 flat. So I'm looking at something else here. It might be a 5 flat. I thought it was a 5'6", but the opening regional says it's a 5'6". It's a 5 flat. So that's even better. So I guess that must have been old time, but the new time is a 5. It's a 5 flat. So
yeah. So basically, he was a legacy lock for A&M. And in case anybody's following this right now and doesn't understand geographically where where that is. A&M's literally it takes less time to get to A&M from where he's at on this side of Houston than it does to get to the other side of Houston. So I mean, a 50-minute drive for him that keeps him close. Obviously, with his legacy with the family, I'm guessing his tuition is not going to cost near as much, and being in state too. So
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
But him though, here's the thing I like most about him. For one, he plays multiple positions on the line. He's actually his senior year this year. He's been playing center when he's usually a guard. He's played tackle before. And in
Nice.
today's football and O-line and offensive line play, if you want to go to the NFL, you have to be able to play. Even D1 college, you have to be able to play multiple different positions on the O-line. You can't just be a guard. You can't just be a right tackle. You have to be able to play all positions on the line. And that's what I like most about him.
Right.
That's great insight, dude.
Oh, yeah. Dude, he's just – I mean, I love watching him play. I've actually watched him play one of his games this year on TV or actually on a live stream on here on my computer. And I'm telling you right now, the way he blocks, the power he has, like, it's just crazy to me how on the run, whenever they run the ball, he'll finish blocks all the way to the ground, and he won't stop. He'll really fall on – which I've seen most of the linemen that are top ranked usually do this too, but I've seen a couple that don't. He'll lay on top of them and keep kind of not grabbing their just shoving them on the ground, make sure they stay down, and basically putting that in the game, saying, "Hey, all game, you're going to be my bitch." And he puts that
guy brings a high level of intensity.
Oh, every play. That's why I love watching him. And I haven't really got in the times I did watch him do pass blocking at his high school, he has a nice first back step whenever it comes down to it. And I'm kind of curious to see what he prefers more, a 3-point stance or a 2-point stance when it comes down to pass blocking. Most guys that play tackle nowadays love the 2-point stance. But
yeah, which side did he play, buddy?
On the tackle or guard?
Yeah, tackle.
Tackle, I saw the right tackle when I did watch him, so he wasn't
wonderful. He's going to be a diamond in the rough, dude.
Oh yeah. I've seen guys projecting to be a 4th to 7th round pick. I've seen guys say he's going to be a 1st to 2nd round pick. It just really depends. Yeah, it really just depends on how he comes to A&M and how much shape he's in. If he plays his freshman year, if he redshirts, all that's going to play a factor in him. But honestly, I think he'll be a day one guy by the end of his career at A&M. Just because all the positions he can play. How much power's behind him whenever he takes that first step. So I honestly think Bryce Foster would be a day one guy.
Nice.
All right, number 8.
So with number 8, this one is my favorite, even before he committed where he committed, which there's going to be a reason why. So his name's Clayton Smith. He's out of Texarkana, Texas, where most of my family is from, where I was helped raise that too. Out in Texarkana. And he comes from where my mom graduated from. My Aunt Wendy, they both graduated from Texas High out in Texarkana. So growing up, I was going back and forth between here and Texarkana a lot. So I got to know the rivalry between Arkansas High and Texas High. So this one really was like hit me home because I was going back and forth between Little Rock and Texarkana. So I got to experience a rivalry with Texas High and Arkansas High. For you guys that don't know, who don't live in the Arkansas, Texas area, that is one of the biggest rivalries in Arkansas high school football. It's crazy. It's the state line between Texas and Arkansas. They really get into it down there with that rivalry game, especially when both teams are firing all cylinders. And I think this year they both were like one loss or undefeated teams. So I can only imagine what that rivalry was like this year in this past high school season that just came through, or is still going on, I guess, because of playoffs. But he comes out of Texas High. He's about 6'4". He plays wide out. He plays defensive end. I said wide out. Defensive end. He should be ranked 43rd in the nation. Let's see here. What else is really good about him? Well, the one thing I can say about him that really stands out to me watching him play is that not only do they leave him on the defensive side of the ball, he's a tight end. He can play tight end.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, he can play tight end. I've watched him play one of his games where they actually put him at tight end like most of the game. And this kid, I mean, he was just going up with the ball every single time. It's like bullying. He's basically bullying whoever was guarding him in that play. Every single time I see him jump up, snag out of his hand, run for about 10 yards, take 2 guys to bring him down. Next play, they bring him out because he can't play on both sides and not bring him out. They have to bring him. So he's playing both sides of the ball for Texas High. And Texas High is a very good football team out there in Texas football. So it kind of surprised me to see him play both ways out there. So the thing I like about him most is that he's actually really a hybrid edge with a lot of length and a lot of good height. So going into OU's system, for you guys don't know, I think OU was probably the best fit for him, especially with the Alex Grinch system, because I feel like they're going to use him to his full ability. So not only will he be an outside DN, but he'll also come in and play linebacker some. That's just because he's so physically gifted that he's going to get some looks at linebacker. So if he doesn't fit in with the front seven, or I mean the front guys like the D lineman, he can go back to linebacker. Actually, I can easily see him being a hybrid linebacker and being a hybrid safety kind of guy, easily. It depends. Actually, I see his speed. I haven't got to look to see if it's 40, what it looks like yet, because that's not out in public right now for some odd reason. But I imagine, if he's playing tight end, he's got to have some type of speed to him. He can't be a slow slug out there. He's got to have some type of speed.
For sure.
So, it just depends because, do you have a flex tight end, which is going to be, what me and Mike know as to be like a Noah Fant to where they can run a 4.4, 4.5 40, or is he
a blocking tight end?
Yeah, or is he like a blocking tight end, which is more of a 4.8, 4.9 type of guy that which is extremely unusual.
Yeah, but for a DN, that's still pretty fast.
Yeah,
it's still fast for a DN, which is kind of unusual for a DN to flip flop to a tight end. So that's interesting. I wonder if he played when he was younger. He played tight end, and maybe it just wasn't going so hot for him. So it kind of flipped to the defensive side of the ball and started playing DN because he had the length. Maybe that's kind of what happened to him on down the line.
Well, and another thing that's so good about him is he's also a 3-sport athlete. He plays basketball and he does the high jump. So he has that. Yeah, so he plays 3 sports. So and the thing about him that there's no really verified times and combines or anything like that right now for him. I don't know if it's because of the COVID or what. I don't know what the situation behind that is. That's what I read earlier, that he didn't have any, or actually like last week I read that he didn't have any verified scores. It's just going by what Texas High is giving him. And also with COVID, I don't know if they're still doing the Nike openings earlier. I don't think they were last year with all the COVID going around last summer, so I'm not really sure. But the thing I really like about too is that, one, the passing lanes. With his length, it's gonna be hard to throw a ball over, especially if you're an undersized quarterback and you're not like 6', you're not Trevor Lawrence height. You're gonna have a hard time when this kid's coming up to your face, and you're gonna have to throw the ball because you got to think you got those big linemen that are at least 6'5", 6'4". Some are 6'8" in the tackle spots. Mm-hmm. So you got to worry about getting the ball over them. And then you're going to have a kid at 6'4", that's a DN or a linebacker, wherever you choose to play him at, come at your face, and his hands are in the air like this, and then swat your ball down. So that's another thing. Like, I love DNs and linebackers that are like that, are long, lengthy. They can get in the passing lanes and just swipe the ball down. Because that is, to me, that's just amazing. That's one of the hardest plays to get by, because they can easily pump fake you out, fake the throwing motion, make you jump and throw away. And really, that's another thing I want to see. I want to see how he does around quarterbacks that are mobile. Quarterbacks are like a Kyler Murray or a Deshaun Watson, or hell, even Trevor Lawrence to a certain extent. He's a pretty mobile quarterback. If you watch him last year against Ohio State, Trevor Lawrence was he showed a side that no one ever saw. Everybody thought he was a pocket passer, but he's out there running around Ohio State, open up a big yard for Clemson.
Well, especially even Notre Dame this past weekend, he just mulched him. I think he had 40 or 50 yards plus a couple touchdowns. Mm-hmm. So, he can break away. He's dangerous.
So I just want to see how he does against quarterbacks like that. I don't know all the quarterbacks he's played in high school. I imagine he's had to play some pretty mobile quarterbacks in Texas high football.
Right.
And I would think. But you never know with some of these guys. So and honestly, he's probably one of my favorites besides James Williams, from the guy, the 6 foot goddamn 5 safety that is a unicorn. I can't believe.
Yeah, the unicorn.
Yeah, the unicorn. I'm sorry calling him, because I can't believe that's even a thing. But him and Clayton Smith are both my 2 favorite guys in this 2025. Not even just because Clayton Smith is an OU commit. I can care less if he's an OU commit. It's just I see so much upside with him. This is height, his athletic ability, all that. The way he can clock, everything. He has an amazing. I watched this. I can't believe the way he dips and bends when he's getting through the line. It's insane to me for a guy his size. Because I want to say he's about 2 something. He's got to be about 230. Yeah, he's about 225. So about 225 and be able to dip and bend that with that height and stuff that's just pure athleticism. So I can't wait to see this kid when he gets to Norman. I really hope that they play him this freshman year and give him some reps.
Nice. All right, number 9.
So with the last two, we have 2 Oregon commits. So the one that I am very interested to see, because I haven't got to watch much Oregon games this year because the Pac-12 started so late, and I thought they were playing for a Pac-12 championship. They're not playing for a playoff spot, so I didn't see much reason to watch them. Honestly, the whole Pac-12 as a whole this year. But I was really curious going into this year with Justin Herbert out and going to the NFL and going to the Chargers. I wanted to see who they would replace him with and what kind of quarterback play they would get out of the future quarterback they end up starting. But the thing that really interested me most was in 2021, I saw they had a quarterback named Ty Thompson. He's ranked 39th in the nation. He's almost at that 5-star spot, almost. He's about 6'4", 6'3". I'm gonna go with 6'3". I could be wrong on that though. And he's number 4 pro style quarterback. He's a pro style quarterback. Coming down to his recruitment, I noticed that he had a lot of looks from Arizona, a lot of Pac-12 schools, honestly, because he is out of Arizona. He's out of the same state that Spencer Rattler was out of from. I don't know which high school he went to in Arizona. I know he's from some town called Gilbert. I want to say it's right, Gilbert. And then I know that Spencer went to Pinnacle High out in Arizona. So the thing about him I really, really, really like is his bulky frame. He has a very bulky frame coming out of high school. He has a strong lower half body. He has a very good base when he's throwing the football. He has complete control. When the ball is released, he has complete control of the ball when he releases it. He has an elite arm strength, all that stuff you want from a quarterback. The only thing I can really say he needs to work on is pocket awareness. When I'm watching the film, I'll see the pocket breakdown, and he doesn't know when to leave the pocket and scramble or when to throw it away. That's the only thing that my problem with him is that he needs to work on pocket awareness. And I think once he gets to Eugene, I think that's going to be his big thing. Because another thing is watch his mobility. He's not a very mobile guy. Yes, he's 6'3", whatever, and he runs about 5 flat 40. About 4 or 5, about 4.9, 5 flat, somewhere around there. He's not a very mobile guy. And we're coming down with that, you're going to have to put a pretty decent O-line in front of him in Oregon. So I'm interested to see how they handle all that. Because like I said, I'm used to seeing Oregon with these mobile quarterbacks that can run and can go on the run and throw. So that's what I'm used to seeing. Yeah. So I'm really interested to see how they do with a pro-style quarterback. And with the linemen they have over there, I think they'd be fine with them.
I'm shocked he took that anyways, dude, that gig. Because, obviously they're going to end up handing the reins to him at some point in time. But, Oregon has been notorious for squandering the ability to actually develop quarterbacks. So, you look at even Herbert, all the intangibles he had coming into the NFL, and he stunk his last year at Oregon just because they didn't develop him properly and he wasn't put in the right scheme. It's not because Oregon's line was bad. Oregon's line was best in the country. So,
yeah, it was.
And then you see this kid this year, Tyler Shue, man, he stinks. It's not the offensive line. The offensive line's still the same group as last year, besides one guy dropping off to the NFL. So, I just hope that they don't end up dropping this kid's talent to the point of where it ends up affecting him in draft capital.
So, Mason, let me ask you this. So, we all know that Oregon pretty much plays a spread shotgun offense. Does he kind of do the same? I'm assuming he does, right?
Well, and as far as I could tell, there's a lot more shotguns, pistol-based offense from what I was seeing. And also when he went to the Nike opening, or not the Elite 11, not the Nike, but Elite 11. Most of the things they do to Elite 11 is out of shotgun. Or they try to make it a shotgun base because, it's 7-on-7. So they make it mostly shotgun base. And watching him in an Elite 11, he threw some really good balls. Honestly, I think he was out of the whole 11. I think he was a top 5 quarterback out of Elite 11. Watching him throw the football and how he's hitting the receivers on the mark. So I don't think shotgun or anything like that's going to be a problem for him. I don't know about under center. Like I said, a lot of these kids nowadays that play quarterback, they don't play much under center. And that's why I was so hyped under Caleb Williams from OU because with that, you can do so much for the quarterback that's used to playing under center. So, and I mean, there's nothing against these kids. I mean, most of these kids are learning how to do that by the time they get to the NFL. But to have that head of a learning curve in front of all the other quarterbacks comes in a lot more handy than a lot of people think, and especially to NFL scouts.
Okay. All right, and number 10.
So for the final one, I went with another Oregon kid just because I feel like Oregon has a pretty solid class this year with the recruits they have and the kids that got on board with the boat. So let's go. The other guy we're going to go with is he's ranked 53rd in the nation. He's a wide receiver. His name's Dante Thornton, something like that. He's about 6'4", 6'5" wide receiver, 185 pounds, tall.
Jeez.
Okay, good height.
Yeah.
Yeah, and let me tell you something about this. I don't know about the Pac-12 specifically, but I know in the Big 12, if you're over 6'2", 6'3" or above, odds are you're going to do pretty good in the Big 12. And honestly, the Big 12 is an offensive-based conference. Now, this year is more, I would say, it's more defensive-based this year than what has been in the past. But just watching kids like at Texas, there's a couple of kids at Texas I saw that were 6'4" and 5 that were just going crazy. And the Pac-12, honestly, is similar
I can't think of a
single. Always.
I can't think of the last 6'3" receiver, to be honest with you, bro. I mean,
yeah, like I said,
even the last good one that came out of there, like most notable ones, Juju Smith-Schuster. So, and I mean, he's a Pittman.
Yeah,
USC.
Pittman, what is he? Yeah, he's 6. Well, I guess he's 6'3", so that's a good call. Yeah. Right. Okay, so there we go. I got to eat my words on that one. Disregard. Please continue.
All right, but so here's the thing I like him because not only is he 6'4", or they say 6'4.5". I lean more towards the 6'5". It's because some of the scouts I've watched him said that he looks a little bit taller than 6'4". So I'm leaning towards 6'5", but just for argument's sakes, we'll go with 247, 6'4.5". So his 40 from I remember when I was writing down notes and jotting down, he runs a 4.63, which for a guy his size is pretty fast. I mean, he's not really meant I feel like when Oregon recruited this kid, they weren't looking for a speed demon. I feel like they're looking for a guy they can count on to catch the football and have those hands and be able to tippy-toe and make sideline catches. That's what I think Oregon was going for with Ty Thompson. Because you got to remember, Ty, he's not, he's not a mobile quarterback. He's a pocket passer. And granted, most of the times when you're with a pocket passer, you want a speed demon. You want someone like a Marquise Brown from the Ravens that played at OU. You want a Jerry Jeudy, a Waddle, a Darius Waddell from Alabama. You want someone like that with pocket passers. But a lot of times with pocket quarterbacks, it's nice to be able to throw that football up in the air and give your guy the 50-50 chance.
Right.
And he's 6'4", and he's gonna come down with it. That's usually what's best for a pocket passer.
Yeah, contested catch king kind of deal.
Oh yeah, exactly. So I mean, honestly, I think when they were recruiting when they were recruiting their quarterbacks, they were looking at it like that. We got this kid at 6'5". I'm gonna call it 6'5". He's 6'5", and this kid that's a pocket. Granted, he's a pocket quarterback. He's almost a 5-star. He wants to come to us. We'll take him, and we'll build around him. And I feel that's what they did. I think they built their class around Ty Thompson, and they love the size of Thornton coming into this class. They love his size. They love his game film. Watching him, I mean, the thing I like him when I was watching him was his release off the line. He gets into his route so quick, it's insane. The way he comes off the line is insane to me. And he also knows how to set up with defensive backs, as he should. He is 6'5". You should know how to set up for a catch when you're going against defensive backs. You should be able to set yourself up for the best ball placement so you can come down with for your quarterback. And the thing is, with 6'5", he's going to be a red zone threat. He's a tight end that plays wide receiver, basically. That's basically what he is. Granted, he doesn't have the weight, but he has the height of a tight end and the athletic ability of a wide receiver. So he's going to be a red zone threat either way it goes at Oregon or wherever he gets drafted at too. So, I mean, honestly, and the only thing he needs to really work on is tighten up his routes. He needs to tighten up a little bit. Sometimes they seem a little loose and a little bit more freely, like kind of. It looks weird. His routes are not very tight. So, I feel like he needs to tighten that up a little bit on his route running. But other than that, I mean, watching his body control, the way that he's a flexible wide receiver, so he's gonna make some amazing catches when he gets to college. So I mean, I honestly see this kid probably being like a second-day kid, second round. Honestly, just because I think the speed may hurt him a little bit in college when he's going against some of these USC with these corners that run like a 4-4, 4-3 type of corners, some 4-5s. I think he'll get ran down, and I think that may hurt his draft stock maybe a little bit. And also, if he's going to tighten up that route running and get that route running where it needs to be, that could also hurt his draft stock. But honestly, I really feel like he's going to be a second-day guy, maybe a late first-day guy. But that's where I think he'll end up, or Thornton will probably end up with his career at Oregon and Eugene with Ty Thompson.
Hey,
Nice.
question.
What's up?
Why did he go from Baltimore all the way to Oregon? Did he not have anybody on the East Coast really trying to recruit him? Because, I mean, they just seem such a haul to go
that's
from
really
Baltimore
uncommon.
all the way to Oregon.
So the thing about that is, honestly, with some of these kids, it's. I mean, some of these kids kind of, like I said, he said his hometown is Baltimore, Maryland, and the thing I learned a lot about a lot of these kids is in the DMV area. So that comes to DC. For people who don't know what DMV means, it means DC, Maryland, Virginia, because it is called the DMV, and that's where a lot of recruiting happens at for a lot of Power 5 schools, and that's where a lot of recruits are vetted at. I've noticed a lot of these DMV kids do not stay in that region. A lot of them end up leaving. So as soon as I can name you like a lot that actually committed to OU. So it doesn't surprise me. Seeing this kid leaving Oregon or going to Oregon instead of staying in town, going to Maryland or going to Virginia or going to Clemson, somewhere close, it doesn't surprise me. A lot of these DMV kids don't stay in their region. Let's be honest here. When you look at a DMV, what school really screams out blue blood or powerhouse school? What school really does that? Not very many. I guess you can make a talk for Virginia Tech, but it's Virginia
Kentucky.
Tech. Kentucky. I mean,
the SEC dominance.
Vanderbilt, Wake Forest.
There we go, Vandy. Old Vandy.
Syracuse. Let's go with Syracuse. Let's go up to New York.
There you go. Yeah, right. That's right. He seems like that's a Harvard kid, right? It looks like a Yale graduate.
So honestly, a lot of these DMV kids, they want to get to the league. When you're at this type of elite level of a recruit, you don't want to risk yourself not getting the notoriety that you think you deserve. So you're going to go to one of these bigger time schools, of course. So I think that has something to do with it. Also in high school, you see a lot of these kids are from Texas, California.
Right. The big three, Florida.
Yeah. Move to Florida, go to IMG Academy. Or you see some kids from Florida move to Texas to go to Allen High School or Katy, Texas, or what's another school I'm forgetting right now? The Sato, or whatever it's called, I don't remember their names. Something like that. Or you'll go to California to go play for St. Bosco, Mater Dei, Centennial High School, someone like that. It's more common. And I've seen some kids go to Nevada to play for Bishop Gorman. Bishop Gorman had Tate Martell and all them go over there. So, and I know Tate Martell is not living up near the hype he had in recruiting. The kid that went to Ohio State, then that transfer to Miami. If anyone that follows college football recruiting, you know who Tate Martell was. He was a very big deal. His high school career went undefeated at Bishop Gorman. They won the high school national title tons of times. And let's just say Tate Martell did not live up to billing at all at Ohio State or Miami. But other than that, guys, that's my top 10. I have two guys, actually, that I would like to throw in this class if you don't mind.
I'd love to hear those honorable mentions. What you got?
Yes, sir.
All right. So going into – there's one kid that I'm very, 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 very interested in seeing playing. And honestly, I don't know – I don't know how – he's a 5-star. His name's Corey Brooks. He plays wide receiver. He's going to Alabama. He's ranked 34th in the nation. He goes to actually one of the powerhouse high schools we were just talking about, IMG Academy out in Florida. He's in Florida. The reason why I like him so much, again, he's 6'3", a tall wide receiver. And I know at Bama, they're going to take use of that size in the wide receiver slot. I know they will. So the reason why I'm so big with him is because he's a natural pass catcher. He's kind of like Thornton, the one that committed to Oregon, a 6'5" kid. And He has natural pass catching skills. The only thing that really scares me about this kid is that he took a laser 40 and was a 4.8.
Ooh.
That really scares me.
Laser don't lie, bro. That
Laser does not lie.
That laser's a bitch. That's when Cash run the 40. You talk about laser, they be like, oh fuck. Cause it ain't no fluff in that number.
The thing is with laser, I've ran laser before when I was playing high school football combine. And I'm telling you right now, you may think you run a good, as a lineman, you may think you run a good 5 flat. You'll learn real quick you run a 5.4 actually. So it sucks. Trust me, the laser sucks, and I feel bad for Jacory, but at least he knows what he needs to work on at least.
That's something to gun for. There you go. Exactly.
Yeah, it's
a
something
baseline.
that he needs to work for. Yeah. So that helps. And then also the thing was like I said, he's a big target. He's 6'3". He's a natural pass catcher. And also, the thing I love about him is that he can turn short routes when I was watching film into long gains because he's going to be a hard kid to bring down. He's 6'3" and he's about 180. So he's a big kid as it is, and he's only going to he's 185, excuse me. Just go get it right now. He's 185. He's only going to get bigger once he gets to Alabama and their strength program. So the kid's going to be a big kid. So he's going to be hard to bring down. So I just would like to see him get that speed down to at least a 4.6 at least. Or not even at least. 4.7 be okay, honestly. I don't know what Michael Pittman ran his NFL draft. I hope it wasn't. I think it was like a 4.5. Yeah, it's like a low 4.5. If he just get down to a 4.6, dude, he would be a day 1 kid. But until he gets that down, I see him as a day 3 kid, honestly, around 3. I don't see him. I just don't see him being a first round pick with that kind of speed, or if any type of second round pick, a late second round pick. I think he'll do great things at Bama. I think he'll be a second choice type of wide receiver. But the thing I'm really interested to see how he handles the speed. I want to see how he handles that. So that's an honorable mention I have. So with the next guy I have here, I'm actually going to switch it up, and we're going to do a little treat here. I wasn't planning on doing this at first, but we're going to look at the 2022 class. Just because, like I said, in the past first video, guys, if you didn't know, I said the 2022 class could be even better than the 2021. And the 2021 class is
Who's this woman on here?
Oh, that's the guy I was talking about. That's Quinn. That's the guy I was talking about. That's my next target.
Y'all get this chick off my screen.
Listen. He's one fugly motherfucker. We all know. I'm not gonna lie.
Dude, he looks like he should be yelling into a microphone for Judas Priest.
Bro,
what?
Dude, this kid.
Is he? What's he gonna pull up to Ohio State in an IROC Z? The fuck out of here, dude.
Dude, this kid.
With the Billy Madison jacket, like.
Right.
That's the only thing I have in knocking this film. Watching this film, it's his
slowly stroke me.
I don't know if y'all know who Mike Gundy is from Oklahoma State.
Yes. Yes.
That's his long lost son that he never knew he fucking had. That is Mike Gundy's with the mullet he has, and Mike Gundy's mullet. That's his long lost son that he didn't even know he had, and it sucks that he can't get him to Oklahoma State. He went to Ohio State.
It looks like Mike Gundy had a kid with Ric Flair.
It looks like Mike Gundy had a kid with a bitch off meth. That's what it looks like to me. I'm sorry to say it, but dude, it's bad. I'm sorry, Quinn, if you're watching this, but fuck, dude, do something different.
Well, he comes from good stock. He's coming out of South Lake Carroll, which was the old quarterback in my opinion. We can go down a list of quarterbacks that's actually in the NFL right now that came out of South Lake Carroll. But
the thing is, yeah, he is a fucking motherfucker. Is there a way we can blur his picture out? Maybe shit, man. That's to distract us from fucking looking at his goddamn thing.
He's not even allowed. Not even allowed to take interviews without a helmet on.
And anyone that knows this about 247, when you're not recruited very high, they'll put a blank, this generic profile picture. We need that for him. I know he's a 5-star, but God, you're not doing this kid any favors right now with this shit, man.
Right. I like it.
So The thing about him is that if you look at his player rating, it's maxed out. It's the best you can get. And that is, for a kid that's only a junior in high school, that is scary. That means you're doing something right. So, coming out, he's about 6'2", 6'3".
Hey man, dude, minimize the picture a little bit, Mike.
Bro.
Take it back a little bit, man. Take it back a little. Don't you maximize his fucking picture, dude. Take this shit back a little bit.
He looks like he came to notoriety on Here Comes Honey Boo Boo. This is what happened when she got done with the show. She turned into a pro-style quarterback.
This goes to the audience too. I just got a quick question for everyone. If y'all think if I use his profile picture for my Tinder, do y'all think I'll get more likes on Tinder? Let's be honest here.
With that 1-0 and 5-star rating, absolutely. I'll throw my hat in the ring.
But anyway, no, this kid is a stud, honestly. He may not look like a stud, but he is a stud on the field. But so here's the thing I like about him the most. He already is 6'3" and is 200 pounds. He's almost 200 pounds, and he's only a junior. So whatever he's doing, whatever his workout routine is, or whoever his trainer is, has done a great job with him. He throws a ball with such an easy delivery. Like, it's insane to me. He has so many arm angles that he can throw from. It's insane to me, and it's just crazy to watch him throw the football down the field. He has one of the cleanest release with a deep ball. And every single time, it's right in the basket. It's so crazy for a kid his age to really hit throws that he's hitting, especially against elite talent in Texas football like he's facing. And he's been doing this since a sophomore. Since a sophomore, he's been doing this. I didn't see him about his freshman year, but if he's been doing it since a freshman year, hey, this kid, I know everybody's hyping Trevor Lawrence coming out of Georgia when he went to Clemson. I think this kid has way more stock, honestly. I think this kid's going to be something crazy. His awareness in the pocket is already what you see from some of these Division I quarterbacks, and he's only a junior in high school. That is crazy to me. And to give y'all a little back look on his whole recruiting progress, coming out the gates as a sophomore, he was crystal ball to OU. He wanted to go to OU. That's where. And I'm sorry to say, any college football fans watching this, if you're a quarterback and you don't put OU in your top 3 schools, you're not thinking, because if you look at this past weekend that OU just did with their quarterbacks, Jalen Hurts, Kyler Murray, Baker Mayfield, those 3 guys just had a crazy ass weekend this past weekend, and they've all had crazy years. Or Jalen Hurts had a crazy past 2 games.
Yeah, they all look pretty much franchised at this point. So
if you're, and also look at Spencer Rattler. This is his freshman year. He threw for 24 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, and he's been a beast at OU. For what he was being given in the predicament he's been put in with COVID, he's been a beast. And then also you add in, and here's the thing, I think the reason why Quinn didn't go to OU, which I'm not mad. I hope he does amazing. I won't put this out there. I never get mad at kids for not going to OU. At the end of the day, these kids are 16, 17 years old, and they're trying to make the best decision for them, their family, and for what's best for them. So I support them 100%, even if they decommit from OU and go to Texas, which this kid was committed to Texas at one point. After being crystal ball to OU, he went to Texas. I didn't have a problem because at the end of the day, he's from Texas. He's probably watched him his whole life. It'd be like me if I was a 5-star recruit and I saw OU offer me. I want to go to OU too. Looks like you probably want to go to Texas. So it's weird how he went to Ohio State, because maybe with OU, because they have Caleb Williams, a 5-star out of 2021 class, and he doesn't know if he wants to take the risk of not getting to play, and that's another thing that's going to play a factor. So I think that's another reason why he picked up Ohio State. Also, if you look what Ohio State's doing, Ryan Day, I mean, and also in this before Ryan Day with Urban Meyer, you had JT, you had what's his name, Dwayne Hoskins.
Oh,
you had Hoskins coming out there. You had Haskins. You had now you got Justin Fields. Even though he's a transfer, he didn't play much at Georgia before he went to Ohio State. He played maybe a little bit of 2 games, maybe if that. So it wasn't like Georgia was developed him. He came straight to Ohio State with barely any playing time in D1 football. You got Justin Fields. You had JT Barrett. And even though JT Barrett and Haskins having the best.
Braxton Miller.
Miller too. I forgot about Miller. Yeah, Miller. So I mean, Ohio State's done their thing with their quarterbacks when they get them. So I don't see a problem committing to Ohio State. It would have been cool if he could stay with Texas. I know it's hard to do right now with all of the things that's going on with the Longhorns right now with Tom Herman may be getting fired after this next season. I know Texas was trying to go for Urban Meyer, and I feel like if they got Urban Meyer, I almost guarantee you that Quinn will probably decommit from Ohio State and went back to his commitment to Texas. There's just so much going on with Texas right now. I can understand why he didn't want to stay with Texas and stay in that ship and wanted to go somewhere else. And I can understand why he wouldn't want to go to OU because Grant Lincoln Riley is known for the quarterback whispering. He already has 2 5-stars right now, and Caleb Williams moved down to Norman, and he's not even enrolled yet. He's been early enrolled, and he's already down in Norman because of COVID. He couldn't play his high school season up there at Gonzaga in D.C., so he said, no, screw it. Me and my family are going to move down to Norman and get me ready to go play at OU. So I can understand. He sees what OU has going on. He sees what Texas got going on, and he doesn't think they fit him for what he wants to do in his career as a college athlete. So I understand the Ohio State pick. And I think he's going to do great things. I think he's going to be the next Heisman winner for Ohio State. Because I don't see Justin Fields winning it this year. Just because his past game and the Big Ten Championship, he threw 2 interceptions against Northwestern. Granted, Northwestern has one of the best secondaries in college football, I think. Because one of their guys has 6 interceptions in the season alone. So I mean,
let's talk about that if you want to real quick. Obviously, after this weekend, guys, now everything's been solidified for what we got coming on for the college football championships. We'll go ahead and kick over real quick and take a look at what the final rankings are. I want to hear your direct thoughts, Mason, on what everything transpired to be after the underlining games that we had. So these are the current rankings that we got. Give me your thoughts on any of these that stand out to you and why that is.
Okay, so with the rankings, all of it, with what happened, I kind of figured would happen. So the thing about the Notre Dame being the 4th spot, a lot of people are saying, well, they got blown by Clemson. Let's be honest here. Do you want to see a rematch of Texas A&M and Alabama? We don't know what Notre Dame could, for some odd reason, come out of nowhere and push them to the blink of a loss and be upset Alabama. We've seen way crazier. We've seen way crazier upsets than Notre Dame and Alabama in the first round of playoffs. We've seen Michigan get upset by that Sun Belt team now. What's their names? They were pretty good in the Sun Belt too the last couple of years. I can't remember. It's one of the biggest upsets in college football. I can't remember names. Anyone in the comments that knows, let me know. It starts with an A. They wear black and gold.
Appalachian State?
Yeah, that's who it was. They pulled one of the craziest upsets we've ever seen in Michigan at Michigan. So
yeah,
I wouldn't.
Absolutely.
So you can easily see Notre Dame being Alabama. If Notre Dame comes on, because I think Notre Dame is not as good as Bama, but is just as balanced as Alabama. I think if they come on, if Bama gets Notre Dame on a good day, they'll push them to a close game. Will they win? I don't know. You guys see Ian Book show up. You guys see Williams, their running back, show up. You guys see Chris Tyree, their secondary running back, show up. You guys see their D-line show up. Because I'm telling you now, R.J. Harris, their running back for Alabama, that kid I think should win Heisman. I think he should win Heisman.
I think he went from 2nd-round draft pick to 1st-round draft pick just off of that SEC championship.
Yeah, even last year, even against Georgia, he had a good game. So I don't see why people are saying put A&M in. Me being an OU fan, I say damn sure don't put OU in. OU would get blasted by Alabama. Hey, granted, our defense is really good this year. There's been times I watch our offense. It's not as explosive as it usually is. Yes, it is a top 20 offense, and it's still a very good offense. But there have been times I watch us get to the 30-yard line, and we stall out. We have to settle for a field goal, or we'll get the ball moving. We have a stupid penalty, and it puts us back. And so instead of having, let's say, 35 points by the 4th quarter, we have 21 points or 27 points. It's not. No, this OU team is not the same. I do think they'll get better next year. I think this OU team will be a lot better and will contend for a national title. If not contend, be one of the favorites to win a national title next year with all they have coming back. Next, we got Florida. The thing about Florida is you lost to a bad LSU team in the swamp.
Yes, smoked.
This LSU team, this is the same LSU team that this lost this past weekend to Ole Miss.
Yeah.
We're going to forget about that? Ole Miss, I mean, yeah, they got Lane Kiffin at Ole Miss, but Ole Miss was a first-year head coach. Granted,
they dropped that bomb against A&M too, so they're not going to be able to just jump A&M.
Yeah, so no, it just makes no sense. And you're not playing for your conference title. And the thing about the committee is they love a conference championship wins. So, Florida, you're automatically out. This team right here is the team that everyone is pissing their pants about, yelling,
Sensei?
screaming. Yep. Why
Yeah.
are they not in? Why are they not in?
Because they don't stand a chance yet, dude. They've got another year before they can prove that they're worthy of playing with the top contenders.
Long way away.
And before I comment on Cincinnati, I want to hear y'all's opinion from 1 down to 7.
Go for it, dude.
Well, I've already told Mike, pretty much every sports organization this year has lost their ass. I mean, I can't tell you how many conferences, how many schools did not even play this year, played half a season, half a game, whatever. So you have to put up this type of roster to even get people interested into even watching the playoffs. I mean, let's be honest here. Ohio State being in there, to me, that's absolute bullshit. How does Ohio State only play 8 games and can possibly win the national championship, but Bama has to play 12 games and win the national championship? To me, that's just bullshit. But again, I understand, hey, it's money, it's business, and the NCAA is a big business, and they're just trying to, just generate the revenue by putting those 4 up. I mean, honestly, Cincinnati, they're getting shafted, pretty much being undefeated, play more games than Ohio State, and they can't even get in. I mean, it's just, hey, it is what it is. Florida, you've taken too many L's this year. No way you can get in there. Oklahoma, same thing. Oklahoma is suspect in a few areas to where if you even put them against Notre Dame, it's going to be real tough. A&M, you're really flirting with their line, but just like Mike said, do you want to see another rerun of A&M and Alabama? Absolutely not. So, in my opinion, I think all roads lead through Alabama. I think just the way that Alabama is firing right now, it's gonna be roll tide.
So I'm gonna go play devil's advocate here. I think out of the top 4 teams, Notre Dame's the one that needs to be pulled out, and they need to be replaced with A&M. I think I 100% agree with Florida. They played literally. Kyle Trask played the game of his life. He was near perfect playing against Alabama. No interceptions. I mean, what was that? That was a record-setting game because it was the first time in college history that they ever had 2 quarterbacks over 400 yards in the same game, playing against each other in a championship game or SEC championship, one or the other. But yeah, anyways, Alabama, right now they're the gold standard. Clemson. So this is why I'm going to state this for Clemson. So Notre Dame only won by a field goal earlier on the season when they played against Clemson. That was without Trevor Lawrence. All right, so that's not a solid win. That's a very, very dismal win. They played this week when you're supposed to be firing all cylinders going into the whatever bowl games that you guys have ensuing from your championship titles. And they didn't just lose, dude. They got shellacked. Like, they got the living dog piss stomped out of them. So you're going to sit there and you're going to tell me, after watching what Clemson did to them, Clemson's a fantastic team, but they're also one of those teams where one day they can come in and have a rough game. Alabama, you're not going to have them come in and have a rough game. It's just not going to happen. So Ohio State, here's why I'm going to say that they still belong in there. I 100% disagree with the fact that they are in there. However, the reason that they do belong to be in there is if you were to take their schedule that they still have, break it up the rest of the season, and say you give them 11 games, most likely they're going to squeak in and still be undefeated. And historically, they've done it time and time again. I wouldn't bet against them. Who are they going to end up losing? Maybe a flub game against like Iowa. Or Michigan. I mean, well, not even Michigan. Michigan, they can't.
Hey, Michigan's one of the biggest rivals in college football. Hey, it could happen. Hey, emotions blaring, bad blood. Hey, it could happen.
Yes, and I'm gonna walk out the door tomorrow, and some random billionaire is gonna walk by and just give me a fortune too. So,
that'll be the
day. That's my point. So, Michigan is a dumpster fire. Their division's whack. I mean, it really is. Penn State. Penn State maybe. I would say out of all the teams, Penn State's probably the only one that really has a penchant for upsetting Ohio State. But yeah, Notre.
They're playing Ohio State for their whiteout game. I think. I'm not sure. They would have a whiteout game this year against Ohio State. I think. I might be wrong.
They had a close one.
Kind of close.
Where was the game at? Do you know where the game was at? Was it Penn State or was it Ohio State?
Right here. It's at Penn State.
Oh, so I was right. Okay, so they would have had their whiteout game against Ohio State. And if they had that, I don't know if y'all seen Penn State's whiteout home game, but it is loud. They get into it out there in that whiteout game.
Yeah, it wasn't this year.
Yeah.
That's quiet this year. A lot of silence.
COVID ruined that one. Thanks, COVID. I hate you.
Yes.
That'd been fun to watch.
So, and you guys may disagree with me on this, but I 100% disagree with Notre Dame being there. I think A&M has not only been winning, they've been winning with a vengeance the last handful of games. As much as I could care less about A&M, I think rolling into the playoffs, A&M should have been at number 3. Ohio State should have been at number 4. I think Ohio State should have earned their way through the college playoff game, and I think A&M versus Clemson would have made that at least that part of the playoff, the semifinals, a little bit more entertaining. But at this point in time, let's be realistic. There's no way Notre Dame, after that loss to Clemson, is going to put up a challenge against Alabama. It's going to be a bloodbath.
Oh, yeah.
I'd be hard-pressed to believe with the way that offense has been firing. Mac Jones he's had 3 games. They've had 3 games in a row now over 50 points. The Notre Dame couldn't get 20 points last week. What are you going to do against that offense? So, inevitably Clemson's going to probably beat Ohio State last year. Mason, you and I you were talking with the group earlier. We all agreed that the game last year probably should have gone to Ohio State.
Oh,
a lot of ticky-tacky crap that we can argue about, but the inevitability is it didn't happen. So this year, I think Clemson's powerful enough that they'll handedly take care of Ohio State. So we're probably looking at another boring season of Alabama versus Clemson for championship games. Not that I harbor any animosity towards both those teams. Both of them are fantastic outfits. Both of them are run by really stand-up, classy guys who ensure that all their students have a bright future.
Here's my thing about it. If you're a fan of another team, you hate seeing these 2 teams win. Hey, tell your program to step it up. That's what it comes down to. If you can't step it up, if you can't step it up and beat these teams, and you can bitch all you want, but you're not beating them, they're winning. They're reaping the rewards of having recruited and getting out there and recruiting all these kids and bringing them to their campuses. As an OU fan, Lincoln's getting there. Lincoln's getting there with the recruiting. He's getting us there. But at the end of the day, I can't bitch. We're not beating them. Until we beat them, I can't bitch. So I would love to be in that position. So that's all I said. Beat them. If you want, beat them.
There's a pretty high chance that U of H is going to end up being in the championship game next year. So they've really been making a comeback the last couple. I can't keep a straight face saying it.
I've been a big fan.
I can't keep a straight face.
So before we end this, I want to touch on this subject with y'all with Cincinnati and all the college football fans that have been whining and complaining about Cincinnati not getting in over A&M and Ohio State, even Notre Dame. And I'm going to make this clear. Let's be honest. Do people out there really think that Cincinnati could go toe-to-toe with Georgia, which they're going to get that chance in the Peach Bowl? So, hey, if you're a Cincinnati fan or you're all from going playoffs, we'll know by the Peach Bowl if they were legit because they're facing Georgia, a Georgia team that's been on fire, has found their quarterback, has the best defense, I think, in the nation. We'll see what Cincinnati's made of by the Peach Bowl. But let's just say, do you think they can beat a Georgia, an OU, a Notre Dame, an A&M, a Florida? Hell, even the Iowa State. I don't think they beat Iowa State.
No, I don't either. Brock Purdy's got that team firing.
So, no, I don't agree with Cincinnati getting the playoffs. I don't want to see Bama put up 60. I'd rather see Bama put up 40-13 than 60-13. I'm sorry. I'm not for it. Right. I don't want it. And the thing is, if you're a fan of a Power 5 or a group of 5 school, like an American Conference or a Sun Belt, maybe it's time for you guys to make your own national title and your own playoffs and play that. Because I'm telling you, I don't see the point. You will not get put on the playoffs until they expand to 8, which it's going to happen. They're going to put the playoffs to 8 teams whenever they renew the TV contract.
I agree 100%. And I think we're all on board with the fact that an 8-team playoffs would – it would just monumentally changed the dynamics of college football, dude.
And this is the reason why at first I wasn't for it at first. When it first got Chris said, man, you guys can be happy we got playoffs. Who cares? You guys are too needy. You always want more and more and more. Hey, I was wrong. This year especially, I mean, even last year I was approved of it, and we made the playoffs. But even last year I was like, why did Bama get left out? They're on fire. Because last year Bama got left out, and Michigan, they played Michigan in a bowl game, and they beat Michigan fairly handily. I'm kind of like, honestly, they might need to expand it because I feel like Bama could go toe-to-toe with any one of us in this playoffs right now. Maybe not LSU because that LSU team wasn't amazing, but they could go toe-to-toe with Ohio State or Clemson. So, no, and that's the argument I'm going to give to Cincinnati fans and all Group of 5 team fans. Until they expand this to 8 teams, you will not see – because this year especially it proves you need 8 teams. You have the winner of the Big 12 not getting in. You have the winner of the Pac-12 not getting in. You almost had the winner of the Big 10 not getting in because of the games they didn't play. This to prove it.
Yeah, what I think about the Cincinnati gripe is, remember a couple years ago when UCF went like undefeated for
it was
11 or 10-0.
Yeah, and everybody was crying about, oh, well, they don't get a shot at the national championship. Like, why aren't they getting a shot? And then they played some big name school and just got demolished. I think it's kind of like the same thing. When Cincinnati, when you put in better talent in their schedule, and we start seeing them go to toe-to-toe and be undefeated, then come talk to me about them being in the playoffs. Until
do you know who their conference championship game was against? Tulsa. That was their conference championship game. Granted, Tulsa is ranked. But it's Tulsa.
Yeah, that's COVID ranked.
Right. Yeah, thank you. Exactly. They wouldn't even. Yeah. North Carolina State should be ranked too, for that matter.
So, Michael, what do you think about it?
The 8 playoffs or 8 teams instead of 4?
8, Cincinnati, both. What's your opinion?
So on board for both of what you guys said. I just quickly impressed upon it when we were talking about it earlier. My biggest deal about it with Cincinnati is exactly like both what you and David said, Mason, and that is that division. There's nothing really impressive that comes out of there. You just talked about UCF. I mean, they're not in that division. I don't believe. I don't think they're in American. I think they're in ACC, aren't they?
They're in
they're in some other conference. Like Florida, like Florida Atlantic.
I think it's American. I think it is American. I think it's in conference with. So. I think because they play with Memphis. They play with UCF, Memphis, Cincinnati, Tulsa.
I'm sorry. They are in our conference, so I'm a dummy. That's how. I mean, that's pretty much how relevant they've been ever since that one run that they had. So yeah, when you look at Cincinnati, I mean, they were solid last year. They obviously weren't as good as they are this year, and that's COVID 9-0 too. So I think they got another year to prove it. Now, if they go 9-0 again next year, I think we have a conversation.
Yeah,
I think we sit back and say, okay, this is coming up on 2 years in a row that they've been the powerhouse in their division. Let's go ahead and let's give them the opportunity, because I mean. If it was under different circumstances, right now I could see swapping Notre Dame with Cincinnati just because of what they've achieved. But given the underlying circumstances of the year and everything that's happened, I mean, they just haven't done anything consistently enough to really deserve that jump. And that's but that's also the flaw with the ranking system, as opposed to like the "what have you done for me lately" system, which is inevitably. Where's your rank? What's your score at? Okay, well, that's where you fall then. But that's not how college football works. They all sit. We sit here and do exactly this. They do that in a table, going, "All right, guys. Well, who had a great week? Okay, well, we'll move them up this week, and that's where you fucking fall."
And I want to put this up there for anyone. I used to be the one that said this is way better than the BCS system when they had a BCS national championship, and it's by 1 and 2.
And which I agree. It is.
This is just as flawed. Maybe you can make that point, but the BCS system too. They're both just as flawed.
Yeah, the ranking's tough though, but I understand why they do it, kind of deal. So I'm not until it gets to the point of where it becomes unbearable to watch. Then you got to be like, all right, well, that's fine. But for the most part, besides the colleges that recruit consistently every single year, and they've just got a revolving door of capable players coming through, like Alabama and Clemson, Ohio State. Dude, exactly like you said earlier, knock me off. Make your team better than me and knock me off. How about that? So until that happens, you still get to play low man on the totem pole. That's just how the rank structure works.
David, I know me and Michael agree on the 18 playoff. How do you feel about it? I didn't think I get your answer for it.
I love the ideal. I've said this multiple times. It's just really like running the gauntlet there because like some of these teams, in my opinion, like they get off just super easy. I think if you stretch it out, it just makes things that much tougher. But there's an argument to be made because these bowl games are in form of, the championships are in form of bowl games. So you get into, okay, what other bowl game? I think the Rose Bowl should be part of the playoffs. And I think some of the other bowl games should be part of it too.
Peach Bowl. Yep.
Yeah, like Peach Bowl and stuff like that. I think some of them other need to be in it too. But you got to understand the whole playoff system is new. We're still in trial and error. And I think we're still getting some kinks worked out. So I believe at some point you'll start to see more teams kind of get kicked into it. I definitely want to see it get expanded, but it's still pretty early. This is what the 4th or 5th year of us doing this. So it's still kind of early on.
Well, I'm ready for them to revamp the bowl games too, dude. I get so sick of being, it's like, okay, we've got the Rose Bowl, the Peach Bowl, and then you'll have like number 5 playing against number 13. That's like, well, why not just have 5 and 6 play each other? So, but by the time you get down to like the final 16 bowl games they got, you're at the Vagisil Bowl, and you're just sitting there going, what's this one? The Capri Sun Bowl? Oh, this will be exciting. Let's watch.
General Bowl.
Outback Bowl.
Let's watch. Anybody want to watch Hawaii International play against the Atlantis team? Like, it's like, get the fuck out of here, dude.
The Smoothie Bowl.
Yeah, dude, but you're like, okay, 8 and 9 will play, and you're like, okay, that'll be a good game, and then you'll see number 6 and number 23 will play. It's like, what do you fucking expect, man? Maybe that 23 is gonna end up pulling through.
How did those numbers even match up? What the fuck? What the heck?
Yeah, it's like, wait, who's fucking planning this shit? So. But sorry, I may cut you off, buddy. But that's the one thing that drives me nuts about the bowl games.
Sitco Bowl.
Yeah.
Everybody show up.
Go Daddy Bowl.
No Daddy Bowl.
The Go Daddy Bowl. Come on, man.
Yeah, man. Come on,
man. Added a little Caesar's Bowl too. I think not too long ago.
Yeah.
Caesar's Bowl.
Yeah.
Chili's. Aldi Bowl.
Literally the cheapest condiments on the face of the planet. You get mugged in the parking lot.
Yeah. Oh God, man.
It's insane, man.
Both teams coming in with no jerseys because they got held up at gunpoint in the parking lot.
Next year, I'm in favor for the Hooters Bowl. I want to see OU go to the Hooters Bowl. The Hooters Bowl. That's what I want to see OU at. If we're not at the Hooters Bowl, I'm riding.
Exactly.
The Tallywhackers Bowl.
Yeah.
Here's my thing, though. Here's why I think you have to expand to 8 teams. Or hell, even 16. I've heard rumors about 16 teams playoffs. Right. Here's the thing why.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Because, let's be honest, if you're not in the top 4, what do these bowl games mean anymore? You seeing players opting out left and right. It's like today, you have Kyle Pitts.
Hey, that's a good point, dude.
Like, these kids, at the end of the day, they don't want to risk their self. And am I a fan of opting out? No. Do I get it? Yes. These kids
100%.
have millions in front of them, and you're telling them, hey, go play in this bowl game. That does not mean jack shit beside the trophy. and that you get momentum for next year's team that you're not a part of. I don't know. I understand it. But here's my other argument for that is that my thing is if you sign that letter of intent to come to that school and you play that season, you can't owe the coach and your team to finish that year. But at the same time, you have that battle in yourself like, well, man, at the end of the day, I don't want to risk me getting hurt. Like Kyle Pitts got hurt a couple times this year. I understand it. OU today had a guy named Trey Brown that I love. I love him to death. I hope he does amazing in the NFL. I hope he becomes a pro bowler. I hope that he does great things. But he has not got hurt very often. And he's kind of not abandoning. I don't say he's abandoning his team. He probably talked to Coach Riley and said, hey, guys, I think this is best for me. I need to do this for me and my family. But at the end of the day, my argument is these bowl games don't mean as much. So you have to put some kind of meaning behind them. I think the only way to do that is to put an 8-team playoff or a 16-team playoff. That's the only way to make these bowl games mean more and so stop this opting out.
Yeah, there's no incentive for sure.
So, I mean, that's just my argument with it. I mean, I just don't see. I mean, it sucks to see, something. And also, let's say a kid because apparently Trask is still playing in the Cotton Bowl against us.
Nice.
And
awesome.
And I'm not wishing this upon him. I hope this does not happen. Let's say he gets hurt. Knock on wood. I don't want him to get hurt. I think he's a great player and a great guy. Let's say he gets hurt. Dude, this kid just put his neck on the line for your program. Granted, I think he should do that, but just realistically, he shouldn't do it. Because it was one of us three in that position. We're not playing the goddamn Cotton Bowl. We're a top 10 pick in an NFL draft. Why would you? You're not playing for anything. You're playing for the next year team's momentum for next season that you're not a part of.
So take a look at this. This is exactly what we were talking about earlier, guys. All right, you mentioned the big one right there, which is 6 playing against 7. That makes 100% sense.
Yeah, that's gonna be the best bowl select game.
But I'm talking about that from a subjective perspective, sitting there saying, okay, well that's 6 playing against 7 because they're sequential. Now it should be 5 versus 6 and 7 versus 8, 9 versus 10, yada yada yada. Not number 5 versus 13 North Carolina. North Carolina, really. A team that was on the cusp of being in the playoffs, you give them number 13. Get the fuck out of 25 Oregon versus Iowa State. I mean, on paper, that should turn out to be a good game. Oregon's a perennial underachiever, so I can kind of get that one. But yeah, Cincinnati, 8-9 makes sense. 6-7 makes sense. And then you got these other bullshit games. So...
Hey, good question though. Let's ask this. How many of those teams do you think will opt out because they said they got COVID issues, quote unquote, and not play their bowl game?
Oh, that's a good point.
Some of these teams will.
Yeah, because what's the point of risking your teammate, your players, and all these guys that could end up getting hurt and ruin your chance for next season, make it to a New Year's Six bowl game, maybe perhaps, and play this stupid bowl game? You could easily pull the card and say, hey, my team's testing positive for COVID. We can't play them. We got to opt out the bowl game. Some of these bowl games are not going to get played. Sad truth.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
What an absolute fiasco some of these are, man. It's like Appalachian State, dude. You nailed it earlier with them. I mean, their division isn't worth a shit, but but they've at least been crushing their division. So you give them North Texas. Did they even have a mascot? That's supposed to be your bowl game?
Isn't it like the Mean Green or like the Bull Weevil or some shit?
Yeah, right.
Hey, whoa.
The fuck is a Bull Weevil?
The heavyweights.
Put some damn respect on the Mean Green. They beat Arkansas's ass last year, okay? They've earned
I thought we were talking about the Disney team. I thought we were talking about the Disney soccer team.
Hey, Arkansas fans, I'm sorry. Sam Pittman's done a wonderful job, but that loss is never going away.
They need to bounce Arkansas from the SEC, dude. They don't deserve to be in there. They really don't.
They need to restructure the ACC a little bit. In my personal opinion.
Hey, we'll come. Take us. We wanted the Big 12. Take us. We'll come over. We want all the smoke.
I don't know, dude. I think it's good that you guys stay with Texas. I mean, that keeps that division at least semi-competitive.
Texas, the reason why A&M and Missouri left us is because Texas want to be assholes and make their own. When everybody's making their own conference and making their own networks, like SEC network and all that, ACC network, Texas, for some odd reason, wants to be the fucking goddamn pieces of shit, make their own network, make it where the Big 12 network can't have shit. So,
thank you.
Fuck you, Texas. I hate you. That's why Texas and Missouri left. And guess what? Hey, if we leave, y'all are fucked. which we're not.
Y'all can have him back at any point. You can have him back.
Yeah. Oh, Arkansas. Oh,
especially Mizzou. Y'all can take him back at any point.
So I rolled down this one. This is how much faith I have in Arkansas. They somehow, well, only because of COVID did they end up getting a bowl game. They're playing against TCU. I'll take TCU 10 times out of 10 times.
Hey, TCU's got a pretty good secondary too. So yeah, have fun.
And Arkansas has a pretty good nothing. They have a pretty good chance of losing. That's about the only thing pretty good about that team.
Hold on now. They held Georgia pretty close for their first half. You gotta give them that. Hey, all that matters is the first half of football.
And that is true. Close. Yeah, there's only. I mean, there's 4 quarters if you like multiplying by 2. If not, then there's only half a game. So.
And Arkansas, Arkansas, we don't multiply by 2.
The Corrito, or multiply at all.
Yeah, we're
we like doing addition. Subtractions move. Keep that to yourself.
I was lucky I was helped raised by an OU family, so I can multiply. Fuck you, Arkansas.
Dude, the sad thing is, man, like the state of Arkansas when Arkansas plays, it's almost like mind blowing. How cool is it really? Oh, dude, it was.
Oh, are you in? You're not in Arkansas?
No, I'm not. No, I'm in Houston.
Texas.
Oh, Texas. Okay. But here's the thing. Well, I can't say Texas besides Texas Longhorns. My dad's Cowboys. But anyways, dude, Arkansas during game day, David, you can test this. It's fucking dead. It's
not the same anymore. I think Arkansas.
Yeah, that's wild. They gave up on it.
Point to where they said, they just said fuck it. That's a whole nother argument for a whole other day. I can go down the rabbit hole with this shit.
Dude, losing to Tulane that one time. We had it in Little Rock at the whatever that little Coliseum is, and they
Memorial.
Dude, yeah, that was one of the craziest sights I've ever seen for tailgating, like ever. And for them to come through and lose to Tulane, it was just like, what are we doing here besides drinking our problems away? Like this is no cause for celebration. This is literally just depressive drinking now.
One big AA meeting, baby.
Dude.
I just wish that y'all put more respect on my Gazorbacks. All right, they've earned the right to get more respect this year.
Oh, they did.
They did. They got COVID gave them a bowl game. There you go. See, look at that.
There you go.
Yeah. That is so crazy. We need to do a video that's roasting the shit out of every bottom feeder of every conference.
Hey, or see about which of them don't deserve to be in the conference they're in, and then make their own crap conference out of them that'll never inevitably never make it to the playoffs.
I would say Kansas, but their basketball team is so damn good every year. It's kind of hard to boot a team out that makes money in college basketball for it. So fuck.
Yeah, well, that's not football, so fuck them.
Yeah, right. We'll keep you for basketball, but when it comes to football, you're going to the Sun Belt for a little bit.
Right.
Fix your problems.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's the other thing about it, dude. You could have Appalachian State be better than Duke. Basketball is literally any given day, as opposed to football. I mean, there's men amongst boys. There's just certain teams that are certain teams are going to show up every single week. And I'm not shortchanging basketball. I'm just talking about when it comes to a division, re-engagement kind of deal. So. But yeah, guys, I think that about sums it up, Mason, dude. Awesome episode, man. Love having you on, buddy. Can't wait to make these consistent segments. So, yes, thanks for coming on, buddy.
Always a great time.
We'll put Mason's contact info down in the description box, and also be on the lookout because we've kind of been talking and brainstorming on some cool, interesting topics to introduce into different pods with football season kind of wrapping up, so that it kind of give us some more content to talk about. So be on the lookout for more coming that way.
Right, and we're gonna have an in-depth breakdown after the Arkansas TCU game just to show you guys what a barn buster it's gonna be. So, nothing. Are we already canceling that one right off the bat? Okay, never mind, guys. So we'll have some other content for you then. But anyways, that's been another episode of the Uncommon Man
podcast.
Mason, thanks again, buddy. Appreciate having you on.
Anytime, man. Thank you for having me, guys. Always fun time with you guys.
All right, guys. We'll see you next time.
Later.